Hey, it is your buddy, Peace and Harmony, with you here today. And much love to the Empowered Harmonizers, and happy holidays to you. And also, I want to give a huge shout out to those of you who have recently donated to the channel. Thank you so much for your viewership and support. It's an honor and a privilege to be able to serve you, develop this content, discuss these oftentimes very sensitive and difficult to tackle questions and situations that you've experienced in your life. So thank you so much. And yes, I have received a lot of comments from viewers. If you're wondering where to donate, there is a little PayPal Donate Now button on the homepage here at YouTube. You can go in and do whatever you like. Thank you so much. Much love to the Empowered Harmonizers. And I want to dive in and really zoom in and focus in on today's topic. And that is understanding what happens after perhaps, discovering a lot of this work or developing an understanding of the narcissist relationship, how it has shut you down, and furthermore, how that real time leads to alienating others and alienating good information from yourself. Now, when we look at the narcissist dynamic, oftentimes it is rooted in emotional manipulation of others to the point where it entails condescension. In other words, where they're trying to shut down another's viewpoint, opinion, experience, just their voice, their contribution, their feedback to the relationship. Perhaps it is speaking up or vocalizing your needs. What it is you have seen throughout your day or your evening or what you want to share. You have not been able to expand or really live in touch with this expansive part of relationships, which is communication, growth in the relationship, being able to better know yourself through relationships, and being deprived or alienating yourself from this experience as a result of narcissist relationships, because the sort of condescending can lead you to abandon yourself, is what I call abandoning yourself, and then alienating yourself from your own voice, and then furthermore alienating yourself from others. So when I talk about alienating, I mean pushing away your good thoughts, pushing away your inspiration, pushing away others, and then those who are, good in nature, you're not able to see it. It's like the filter gets clogged up with all that you have been through, with all the condescending tapes running over and over and over again, or perhaps, you're still, down for the count, literally because of the emotional wound and the emotional incision that they have made that has got you to where you're feeling down and out, less than excellent, less than happy, less than passionate in your relationships or in your life. And so what ends up happening then is you end up not hearing the voice within, not hearing the voice without. In other words, that inspiration says that, maybe it is time for a separation. Maybe it is time for a divorce. Maybe it is time for us to have a heart-to-heart talk. This would be the solution. Let's make sure that this gets rectified now, and we're not sweeping it under the rug for the next 1 to 5 to 10 years. And then we're dealing with it when it's even worse than it is now. So procrastination becomes the guidepost. Procrastinating becomes the new priority to your life. You end up living life less than happy. You end up becoming underemployed. You end up becoming underheard or not being able to contribute. Or a lot of viewers here say they just don't know themselves. They don't know their passion. They don't know their talent. They don't know what it's want because they're so alienated, meaning they've pushed down, pushed away, repressed, suppressed their own inner voice, as well as those people who could be a positive influence and be that little spark of joy, that little, spark of positive support and validation for them because they feel so low inside. In other words, the scars are so deep, or the incision is so fresh or so new, that this alienation continues. And it's going to perpetuate this sort of feeling of abandonment or not being heard. It's going to perpetuate it. It's going to keep that going. And so, as I discussed here, it's so important to recognize that. So the first kind of key is kind of seeing this take place. In other words, no, I don't trust myself. No, I don't love myself. No, I'm never going to have a good relationship. No, this is too far gone. These are the sort of statements you might make to yourself or others that is a good indicator that this has been going on real time in your life, and that you are perpetuating it by these commands, by these statements to yourself or to others, saying, the good life will never happen to me. We will never be able to settle this. It's too late for me. I'm too old. I've gone through so much. I can never get better again. All these sort of conclusions which are surmounted, or you are instructing yourself to believe. And remember, Florence Scovel Shinn, word is law. So become very conscious or very sensitive to the words and feelings that you speak and perpetuate to yourself throughout your day, throughout your evening, even throughout your dreams, because this tends to be a repetitive cycle. So if you say, doggone it, I am so stupid, you are labeling yourself in the moment. You need to get out of that. That's a very bad habit. It's a very negative habit, and it's less than positive, less than productive to speak these words to yourself, because word is law. When you speak this into existence, you're re-solidifying that, and then you're participating in the condescending, like virtually. So in other words, you're embodying and then speaking in these negative statements which need to be corrected. I would definitely advise against, saying these sort of things to yourself, because oftentimes in narcissistic circles, this is begun, through sibling rivalry or through sarcasm, and isn't it funny, and then it becomes ingested. It becomes, that statement over time, it affects an emotion, and that emotion over time becomes a mood, and then mood repeated over a series of time, weeks, months, years, decades, that mood becomes an identity. And then you then wear that identity. I am useless. I am stupid. I will never make it. The good life can never happen to me. I live on the wrong side of the tracks. It's too late for me. I'm too old. All these sort of verbalizations and quips that you make, you need to correct and say, whoa, okay, this perhaps I'm, pushing away the positive voice. I need to flip that stuff, and I need to begin with the I am. And I am intelligent. I am emotionally intelligent. I am sensitive with borderline. Sensitive with boundaries, rather. I am sensitive with boundaries, knowing when I can give, when, where, and who, and why I can give my heart to, and be empathetic, and not participate in the overindulgence of my sensitivity. Excuse my finger there. I am not going to belittle myself and participate in the condescension and alienate my voice. And I'm okay to correct that. I am worthy enough to correct that inner voice. In other words, it's saying that, okay, I can take the helm now. Like we were saying before, earlier, that it's like with the dog who's out of control. You need to tame the dog. You need to tame the inner critic. You need to tame the outer critic. So if this has now got you to a point where you're alienating others and you're feeling like, well, I could never fit in because I am not good enough, it's time for you to tame that, and then take a look at these feelings and this identity that you've now created for yourself. Let's get back to the drawing board. Let's get back to the blueprint. Let's get back to the template. Let's rearrange something. Let's remodel some things. Let's remodel your identity. Let's remodel your statements, your I am and your I feel. And let's cultivate this and nurture this to be a little bit more positive, a little bit more self-validating, and not waiting for the validation of others, because you could wait, a lifetime and a half before that's ever going to come, if ever. So I would not put your happiness in the hands of another if it's coming to that, and then realize then how perhaps you are alienating others or pushing others away who could be positive friends, companions, acquaintances, support people. Begin to look and open up or entertain the idea that there are positive people out there who are not wounding in nature, who are not hurtful in nature, who are not critical in nature, who do not pounce on you, who are emotionally intelligent, who are open to healthy relationships and have that interaction both ways, without jumping, without pouncing, and then without alienating you on down the road, like a narcissist. The whole pattern of relationships that they tend to go in, the love bombing, the devaluing, the discarding. Begin to recognize that and become aware and consciousness of that. Not only your inner vocalization, your inner feelings, your decisions that spring forth, your behaviors, and how that is then communicated to others. And look at remodeling a little bit of those. So it's like, okay, maybe I can have a conversation. Maybe I can get to know this person. Maybe I can keep myself safe in this situation. And this could actually be a step in the right direction. And then those steps over time, with repetition and experience, will bring you to a whole new identity, friendships, relationships, and state of becoming. It is your buddy, Peace and Harmony, with you here today. Much love to the Empowered Harmonizers, and I hope that these videos do help. Please share and please subscribe for more great tools, videos, discussion, and support.